Welcome back to part 2. There's still no sign of any snow for our Fuzzberry festive photo shoot. Wallace the Wizard said he could help, so let's see. In our story, I'm going to Bramble Jam Jelly Factory. Why don't you join me? So after wiping away some tears of joy, I need to get the Fuzzberries ready. So allow me to take you to the famous Bramble Jam Jelly Factory, where the Fuzzberries work, and meet the factory manager.
Hi everyone, and I'm Charlie Prickles, and a big welcome to the famous Bramble Jam Jelly Factory.
Charlie looked every bit the professional, was looking at his watch.
And just what have you been up to, young Finnegan? You're an hour late.
I'm so sorry I'm late, Charlie. I had a slight problem. I'll tell you on the bus.
Alrighty then. Let's get these young Fuzzberries on the bus sharpish then, shall we? Okay, you lot, on the bus. Single file and no pushing.
Goodbye, bye-bye.
Soon the little red bus was driving through the woods, carrying me, Charlie, and 12 very excited Fuzzberries. They were absolutely loving the ride, their little fluffy heads bobbing as they peered out the windows at the passing trees. We soon arrived at Wallace's cozy cottage. It was a picture of festive cheer. A log fire crackled merrily in an open fireplace, surrounded by Christmas stockings of all shapes and sizes. A beautiful Christmas tree stood in the corner, and twinkly lights were draped everywhere. The decorations were hung just right, and rows of jelly jars were polished to a high gleam. Charlie, clipboard in hand, began his inspection, ticking off items on his list.
Right then, let's see. Cozy cottage location, fireplace lit, Christmas stockings, Christmas tree, twinkling lights everywhere, decorations hung just right, jelly jars polished, Fuzzberries wearing Santa hats. Well, mostly.
The Fuzzberries bounced around with uncontrollable excitement. Tiny, golden, big-eyed bundles of pure fluff, adjusting their slightly too big Santa hats, giggling amongst themselves, and sneaking small tastes of jelly from the jars when they thought I wasn't looking.
Now remember, young Finn, we need one photo outside first, and then one main photo inside.
Charlie paused, his professional demeanor faltering for a moment. Slowly, he lifted his head and looked out the cottage window, his shoulders slumped.
Finn, a Fuzzberry Christmas photo needs snow. It's tradition, mate.
I know, Charlie. I'm hoping Wallace has found a solution. My ears drooped. He knew this was a big problem. The Fuzzberries, hearing all the commotion, pressed their little noses to the window, squishing their faces flat against the cold glass. "No snow," one of them squeaked. "No crunch," said another, looking disappointed. "No snow angels," cried a third, its tiny voice filled with sadness. Meanwhile, back at Wallace's workshop, the wizard was having a marvelous time. He shuffled over to his long-forgotten star-making machine. Instead of usual stardust, Wallace did something totally different. He carefully poured in one jam jar of his personal magic dust and poured it into the first empty glass tank. The glass tank immediately filled with a swirl of shimmering golden sparkles. Then, for the second glass tank, he grabbed not one, but 2 jars of light blue, sparkling, slightly bubbling, glowing, magical bramble jam jelly. He poured it all in. The machine whirred to life. It rattled, it rolled, it popped. Well, then it farted loudly. The surprising sound echoed through the workshop.
Pardon me.
Then, just as suddenly, The entire machine began to sparkle with a bright, beautiful light. A wide grin spread across Wallace's face. His brilliantly silly idea was working. Back at the cottage, everything was ready for the photo. The Fuzzberries lined up perfectly outside, their Santa hats straightened, their little scarves fluffed, and their jelly smiles polished bright. I stood ready. I raised my camera to my eyes and took a deep breath. "Okay, everyone, say..." Oh no. I lowered my camera, my heart sinking. Still no snow. The ground was bare, the air was crisp. Just then, poof, a soft white flurry drifted down from the sky. It landed gently on Fuzzberry noses and hats. "Snow!" shouted the Fuzzberries together, their voices filled with pure joy. But this wasn't ordinary snow. It was magical. One brave little Fuzzberry stuck out his tongue and caught a flake. "It tastes like minty marshmallow jelly." At that moment, Wallace appeared sitting proudly inside his new repurposed star-making machine, which was now puffing out clouds of the delicious snow.
Biodegradable and totally delicious.
The edible snow sparkled in the air. The Fuzzberries' hats were tilted at jolly angles. The jelly jars glowed in the festive light. And once the picture was taken, the Fuzzberries cheered in absolute chaos and immediately began scooping up handfuls of the delicious, fluffy snow, laughing as they ate it. They made angel wings in the minty marshmallow snowdrifts, and just like that, Bramble Jam's very first slushy snow was born. Soon the party moved inside. The cottage quickly filled with joyful music, the sweet smell of marshmallow jelly treats and warm laughter. Even I finally relaxed, snapping one final photo of everyone together before putting down my camera. The memory of a perfectly magical day. Wallace raised his arms in delight and with a huge smile on his face said merrily to the room,
A Merry Fuzzberry Christmas, everybody.
and it truly was. A Merry Fuzzberry Christmas. If you loved this story, I have many, many more to share with you. We'll be doing a podcast shortly with my friends Benny and Zuzu. That should be fun.
And be sure not to miss any of our adventures. So do subscribe, like and comment, and pop over to Redbubble for our delightful merch, and Amazon for our Tales from Bramblejam Wood adventure book.
So goodbye and see you soon, everyone.